Valve Corporation is an American video game developer and digital distribution company headquartered in Bellevue, Washington, United States. Its Luxembourg-based business office subsidiary for European regions, Valve S.a.r.l, was opened in 2012. Founded in 1996 as Valve LLC by former Microsoft employees Gabe Newell and Mike Harrington, the company has developed the critically acclaimed Half-Life, Counter-Strike, Portal, Day of Defeat, Team Fortress, Left 4 Dead video game series, alongside Dota 2. It also developed and maintained Source, on which most of its games run, and the software distribution platform Steam, which has led to the Steam Machine, a line of pre-built gaming computers running SteamOS. History. Founding and incorporation. Valve was founded by former longtime Microsoft employees Gabe Newell and Mike Harrington on August 24, 1996. As Valve LLC, based in Kirkland, Washington on the Seattle East Side. After incorporation in April 2003, it moved from its original location to Bellevue, Washington, the same city in which their original publisher, S.a.r.l Online, Inc., was based. Half-Life. After securing a license to the Quake engine through the help of friend Michael Abrashevid's software in late 1996, Newell and Harrington began working on Half-Life. Originally planned for release in late 1997, Half-Life launched on November 19, 1998. Valve acquired TF Software Pty Limited, the makers of the Team Fortress mod for Quake, in May 1998 with the intent to create a standalone Team Fortress game. The Team Fortress Classic mod, essentially a port of the original Team Fortress mod for Quake, was released for Half-Life in 1999. Gearbox contributed much after the release of Half-Life. Gearbox Software is responsible for the Half-Life expansion packs, Half-Life, Opposing Force and Half-Life, Blue Shift, along with the home console versions of Half-Life for the Sega Dreamcast and Sony PlayStation 2, which included a third expansion pack called Half-Life Decay, that enabled two-player split-screen co-op. Source game engine. After the success of Half-Life, the team worked on mods, spin-offs, and sequels, including Half-Life 2. All current Valve games are built on its Source engine. The company has developed 6 game series: Half-Life, Team Fortress, Portal, Counter-Strike, Left 4 Dead and Day of Defeat. Valve is noted for its support of its games modding community. Most prominently, Counter-Strike, Team Fortress, and Day of Defeat. Valve has branched out with this tradition to continue developing Dota 2 as the standalone sequel to the Warcraft 3 mod. Each of these games began as a third-party mod that Valve purchased and developed into a full game. They also distribute community mods on Steam. Valve announced the Source 2 engine on March 3, 2015. Acquisitions and awards. Valve has grown both in scope and commercial value. On January 10, 2008, Valve announced the acquisition of Turtle Rock Studios. On April 8, 2010, Valve won the Escapist magazine's March Mayhem tournament for the Best Developer of 2010, beating out Zynga in the semi-finals and BioWare in the final. In 2012, the company acquired Starfield Studios, a two-man gaming company, to open a San Francisco office. In August 2013, however, Valve ended the operation when it was decided that there was little benefit coming from the arrangement. Network intrusions. Valve's internal network has been infiltrated by hackers 3 times. Once in 2003, where content of yet to be released Half-Life 2 was leaked onto the internet, Newell's email account was compromised, and keyloggers were installed on several Valve systems. In 2011, the Steam customer databases and official forums were compromised. On September 2011, a hacker broke into the network and downloaded the yet-to-be-released beta code of Call of Duty: Modern Warfare 3. Legal disputes. Valve Corporation v. Vivendi Universal Games. Between 2002 and 2005, Valve was involved in a complex legal showdown with its publisher, Vivendi Universal Games. It officially began on August 14, 2002, when Valve sued S.a.r.l for copyright infringement, alleging that the publisher illegally distributed copies of their games to internet cafes. They later added claims of breach of contract, accusing their publisher of withholding royalties and delaying the release of Counter-Strike Condition Zero until after the holiday season. Vivendi later countersued, claiming that Valve's Steam content distribution system attempted to circumvent their publishing agreement. Vivendi sought intellectual property rights to Half-Life and a ruling preventing Valve from using Steam to distribute Half-Life 2. On November 29, 2004, Judge Thomas Samuel Zilli of the U.S. District Court for the Western District of Washington ruled in favor of Valve. Specifically, the ruling stated that Vivendi Universal and its affiliates were not authorized to distribute Valve games, either directly or indirectly, through cybercafes to end users for pay-to-play activities pursuant to the parties' publishing agreement. In addition, Judge Zilli ruled that Valve could recover copyright damages for infringements without regard to the publishing agreement's limitation of liability clause. Valve posted on the Steam website that the two companies had come to a settlement in court on April 29, 2005. Electronic Arts announced on July 18, 2005, they would be teaming up with Valve in a multi-year deal to distribute their games, replacing Vivendi Universal from then onwards. As a result of the trial, the arbitrator also awarded Valve $2,391,932. Valve Corporation v. Activision Blizzard. In April 2009, Valve sued Activision Blizzard, which acquired S.a.r.l Entertainment after a merger with its parent company, Vivendi Universal Games. Activision had allegedly refused to honor the Valve v. Vivendi arbitration agreement. Activision had only paid Valve $1,967,796 of the $2,391,932 award, refusing to pay the remaining $424,136, claiming it had overpaid that sum in the past years. Blizzard Entertainment v. Valve Corporation. Shortly after Valve filed its trademark for Dota to secure the franchising rights for Dota 2, Dota All-Stars, LLC, run by former contributors to the game's predecessor, Defense of the Ancients, filed an opposing trademark in August 2010. Dota All-Stars, LLC was sold to Blizzard Entertainment, the developer of Dota's platform Warcraft 3 and its world editor, in 2011. After the opposition was overruled in Valve's favor, Blizzard itself filed in opposition against Valve in November 2011, citing their license agreement with developers, as well as their ownership of Dota All-Stars, LLC. On May 11, 2012, Blizzard and Valve announced that the dispute had been settled. Valve retained the rights to the term Dota commercially, while Blizzard reserved the right for fans to use the trademark non-commercially, and changed the name of their StarCraft 2 map, Blizzard Dota 2, Blizzard All-Stars. Blizzard All-Stars was adapted into a standalone game and renamed Heroes of the Storm on October 17, 2013. Games. Cancelled games. Incomplete games include a fairy RPG, Prospero and Stars of Blood. It was also working with Arcana Studios on Return to Ravenholm and The Crossing. Other ongoing projects. Steam. Valve announced its games platform Steam in 2002. At the time, it looked merely to be a method of streamlining the patch process common in online video games, but was later revealed as a replacement for much of the framework of the World Opponent Network service and also as a distribution, digital rights management system for entire games. As of July 2014, there are over 3,400 games available on Steam, and in January 2014 Valve announced that it had surpassed 75 million active user accounts. On August 1, 2012, Valve announced revisions to the Steam subscriber agreement to prohibit class action lawsuits by users against the service provider. Alongside these changes to the SSA, the company also declared publicly the incorporation of Valve S.a.r.l, a subsidiary based in Luxembourg. Valve set up a physical office in Luxembourg-Kirchberg, according to Valve's project manager Mike Dunkel. The location was chosen for e-commerce capabilities and infrastructure, talent acquisition, tax advantages and its central geographic locations. Most major partners are accessible with 50% within driving distance. Valve S.a.r.l is used to sell games to United Kingdom-based users to avoid paying the full 20% VAT. The tax loophole was expected to be closed on January 1, 2015. In December 2015, the French consumer group UFC Choisir initiated a lawsuit against Valve for several of their Steam policies that conflict or run afoul of French law. One of the reasons was for using the tax loophole. Steam Machine Newell has been critical of the direction that Microsoft has taken with the Windows operating system in making it a closed architecture, similar to Apple's products, and has stated that he believes that with changes made in Windows 8 are a catastrophe for everyone in the PC space. Newell identified the open-source Linux platform as an ideal platform for Steam, noting that the only thing holding back its adoption is the lack of games. A precursor to such a unit is SteamOS, a freely available Linux-based operating system that builds upon the Steam client functionality that includes media services, live streaming across home networks, game sharing within families, and parental controls. SteamOS was officially announced in September 2013 as the first of several announcements related to the Steam Machine platform as well as their unique game controller. In early summer 2014, Valve announced that the company's own SteamOS-powered Steam Machine would be delayed until 2015 due to problems with the game controller. Pipeline. In July 2013, Valve officially announced Pipeline, an intern project consisting of 10 high school students working together to learn how to create video game content. Pipeline serves a dual purpose: to discuss and answer questions that teenagers often ask about the video game industry, to see if it is possible to train a group of teenagers with minimal work experience to work for a company like Valve. The latter purpose breaks Valve's tradition of employing experienced developers, as the company is not very good at teaching people straight out of school. J.J. Abrams' collaboration at the 2013 DICE Summit. Gabe Newell confirmed that he and director J.J. Abrams were collaborating to produce a Half-Life or Portal film, as well as a possible new game VR headset in March 2015. Valve and HTC announced a joint project to develop Vive, a head-mounted virtual reality display. The companies are working with Google, Lionsgate, and HBO to develop content for the device. Organizational structure. Valve is run as a flat organization without bosses, and uses open allocation. Economist Yanis Varoufakis, a former economic consultant for Valve, and former finance minister of Greece, attempted to place Valve's organization in the context of theories of the firm and broader economic thinking. Former employee Jerry Ellsworth has, however, criticized the structure as a lot like high school, where while the structure is flat, certain people within the company nevertheless have more say in decisions than others. Valve Time. Valve Time is an industry term used jokingly with game releases from Valve, used to acknowledge the difference between the promised date for released content stated by Valve and to the actual release date. Valve Time includes predominant delays but also includes some content that was released earlier than expected. Valve itself has fully acknowledged the term, including tracking known discrepancies between ideal and actual releases on their public development wiki and using it in announcements about such delays. Valve ascribes delays to their mentality of team-driven initiatives over corporate deadlines to make sure they provide a high-quality product to their customers. Valve's former business development chief Jason Holtman stated that the company sees themselves as an oddity in an industry that looks towards punctual delivery of products. Instead, Valve tries as hard as we can to make the best thing possible in the right time frame and get people content they want to consume. And if that takes longer, that's fine. For that, Valve takes the concept of Valve time as a compliment, and that having customers consistently looking at our property or something you've done and saying, "Can you give me more?" is evidence that they are making the right decisions with their game releases. According to Holtman, the company does try to avoid unintentional delays of their projects, and believes that the earlier occurrences of Valve time delays, primarily from Half-Life development, has helped them improve their release schedules. PowerPlay. PowerPlay was a technological initiative headed by Valve and Cisco Systems to decrease the latency for online computer games. Gabe Newell, the managing director of Valve, announced the project in January 2000, and after 12 months the project was quietly abandoned. PowerPlay was described as a set of protocols and deployment standards at the router level to improve performance. It was claimed that a player with 1000 milliseconds ping was able to play against another player on a LAN connection with no noticeable disadvantage. Initially, the protocol was to be released with PowerPlay 1.0 focusing on quality of service, and later a revision, PowerPlay 2.0, that would focus on functionality. Cisco and Valve intended to deliver a single dial-up service in Q1 2000 in the United States, with a 30-day free trial with a bundled copy of Team Fortress modified to support PowerPlay. Despite never deploying the dial-up plan featuring PowerPlay 1.0, Valve announced in January 2001 that the standard had indeed been finalized. The standard was to involve purchasing PowerPlay-approved Cisco hardware and infrastructure that had adequate bandwidth, and QoS standards that prioritize PowerPlay gaming packets at the expense of all others. Gabe Newell conceded that Internet service providers would bear the brunt of this expense. The ISPs are going to need to spend a fair amount of money to be compliant with PowerPlay, but how they get that back is up to them.